Hello and welcome to another 3D printing video. Today I'm going to be printing my dragon head that I sculpted in my last video. So here it is. I chopped off the neck and it looks like this is going to be the best way to print it because of the teeth, overhangs and stuff, and because I've added all this texture in. I don't mind it being on the back. I'm going to see how bad that will be. I'll sand it down and work on it, and hopefully I'll be able to paint it. So this is it. It's probably going to take about 6 hours, so I'll show you guys the layer view. So here it is. It looks a little bit crazy with all the lines going over, but there's where the support's going to be. It's going to be some in the mouth. There's going to be some under the head and holding up the horns. And hopefully it turns out well. This is my new computer, so it handles Cura a little bit better. My older one was not very good. Hopefully this one works better. I can actually screen capture, which is good. And so I'm going to save this file and get it printing.
Good morning. So, I woke up this morning to something quite interesting. Felt someone yanking on my blanket, and I turned over and saw a giant dragon head in my face. Like, it wasn't very giant. It was this. So, last night I was preparing to slice up a dragon that I'd print on this printer, which I did. But my dad was also printing one in this printer, and he gets up earlier than I do, so he got it, cured it for about an hour, stuck it on his finger, and shoved it in my face just as I woke up. And I think this is awesome. The detail on it, if it'll focus, is really cool. And the fact that I sculpted is also really crazy. Like, it was virtual until it was 3D printed. Now it's physical, and you can't even hardly see the layer lines in it. It's crazy. Just like, I don't know, that's cool. And then it was hollowed out inside because SLA is much more expensive than filament. You get it in little containers of like 500 milliliters or 250 milliliters. I just woke up like 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, so I'm a little bit tired still, but that doesn't matter because dragons are exciting. So we have this tiny one that was printed, and I had one, this was at 40% scale, I had one at 100% scale that I was printing on my flying bear. Now before I pull it off, there were some issues. I did just reconfigure the Cura settings because I have a new laptop, so I had to put them all in, and I think I did something wrong. I'm not sure what it was, but it was under extruding, so not enough plastic was coming out the nozzle as it should. I didn't want to have to reslice it because it was already late. I stayed up till 11 o'clock last night. So what I did is I just cranked up the flow, and I turned down the speed. So as you guys saw probably in the beginning in the bottom right corner, it said about 6 hours. Well, because I turned the speed down, how Cura settings work, it lasted about 10.5 hours. So I'm going to pull this thing off. I'm going to show you guys. Well, that's solid on there. Okay, so here it is. You still got the supports on it. And the raft is one of the major areas that you can see the under extrusion where it first started. So the first layer went down fine, but then as you can see up here, it started getting kind of sparse and not as thick lines. And you can even see the under extrusion throughout it. You can kind of see those, that's all those little holes and stuff is because it didn't extrude enough. There wasn't enough plastic coming out of the hot nozzle to fill it in completely. So that was an issue there. Another issue I had were these horns here. I don't like using plastic and 3D printing time, so I do as much as I can. This is hollow. The bottom is 0.8 millimeters. The walls are 0.8 millimeters, and the top is 1.2 millimeters thick because it is hollow. It's hollow, so the overhangs on the underside are held up by supports, but the overhangs on the inside aren't held by infill, so I made them thicker so they can hold up. And it looks like, if you look at the top of his mouth, it looks like they did fine. there is some support inside his mouth. You can see that. Another issue I see is stringing. A little bit of stringing between, you can look in there, between the two parts of support. So support here, and in between those is little lines. Those are little excess pieces of filament getting dripped out and catching and catching and catching and catching, and there's enough little catches that it draws a little line. So I'm going to pull more of the support off, and I'm going to look at it better. Okay, so I got all the support off, most of it, and the back is looking pretty messy, but the supports came off easier than I was thinking they would, and that's probably because of the under extrusion issues, probably, because Kira really likes to make this flying bear have super strong supports. One thing that I noticed is, so there was, wow, it's so bright, there was an end to his mouth in my model, but because it was over nothing, it had nothing for the filament to grab to, because there was no infill either, so it made it droop all over the place. Here's what it kind of turned into, this little mess. So I pulled it out, and so the inside of his mouth leads to the inside of his head, and out his horns right here. So this is going to be definitely a war-torn dragon. Here's the thing. I had a comment saying that I was lying about making a 3D print called war-torn because it was bad quality. That's the thing. I wasn't lying to you guys by saying that, because I wasn't trying to deceive you. I was adapting to the situation of my 3D print. When a 3D print comes out really cruddy, I want to do something with it. I don't want to throw it away. So I'm not lying by calling it war-torn. I'm adapting and giving it a new name. And that's what I'm going to be doing with this guy. I'm going to be trying to fill in the horns, even though they're busted off on one side. He may have been in a battle. So I'm going to add some filler in there. I'm going to sand out the support stuff. I'm going to see if I can fill in all those nasty layer lines where there was a bit of under extrusion. I want to smooth out the eyeballs if I can, so that I can paint them nice glossy color. And there's a lot I'm going to work on this guy. I don't think I can do it in this video because there's a lot that needs to be done. Maybe I'll show you the end result in a different video, but for now this is going to do it for this one. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of my other videos, and if you like them enough, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.